If you're 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, anywhere in your 20s, and you are tired, there is probably something deeply challenging going on beneath the surface. You're too young to feel tired, cynical, stressed out, and you're also too young to feel like you lived multiple chapters and you're mentally 50 years old, like I do. So this video is just as much for younger CEO CJ as much as it is for all of you guys, because all the learnings I have had accumulated throughout the years are going directly into this video, so you can take the sprinkles of wisdom as you see fit so you do not make the same mistakes that I have made. You are simply overloaded with stress. Period. And here's the kicker. Most of it is invisible. So before we break this down psychologically, let me give you some context. In my early 20s, before I realized I was truly burned out, I was running TEDx events, running a company, running for city council, trying to start another business. What else? I have to look at my notes. That's how much I was doing. Managing relationships, trying to manage my health, trying to maintain my company momentum. And from the outside, this looked extremely impressive. But in the inside, it was absolutely freaking chaos.
When I'm not working, I'm thinking about working.
And I hit a wall not quickly. It took a minute to get there, I'm not gonna lie. But I hit a wall, and this wasn't just metaphorically. This was a very physical thing. My first inclination of when I knew something was going on very, very deeply was I had a meeting with an investor, and we walked out of the restaurant and I just completely had a mental breakdown. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just a full-on mental breakdown, seemingly out of nowhere, where I was just like, okay, bye, and then I just ran away. It's funny now, but at the time it was the farthest thing from funny. It was actually so unfunny. Wrap this one up immediately. I basically realized none of this was ambition. This was just a completely fried nervous system, just completely top-down fried. And I didn't build up ambition, I built up overload. Insert sparkly stars here. It took me 3 years to completely 180 my schedule, legitimately 3 years to break down, destroy, and then build back up to where I am today. That's how much time it took me. Let's be honest, if you're hearing stuff from these productivity gurus being change your life overnight, there's no such thing as any sort of shortcut. So if there's anyone who understands what it's like to burn out at age 25 and probably be dead at age 35, you are looking at the poster child. So here's what I've learned so you don't have to go through the same exact thing. Knock on wood. Understand that you are saying yes to literally everything. That is the biggest thing. You just say yes to everything.
Yes. Yes. Say it again. Yes.
In your early 20s, you realize you have potential, you have ambition, you have the market opportunity, whatever, and you don't want to waste it. Obviously. And I'm not saying you do have to waste it, because you want to see how far you can go. And shoot, go freaking all the way. So you say yes to everything, because that's how you think life works. But let me tell you, it is not. Saying yes to every project, every opportunity, every event, every whatever, that's all overloading your schedule in ways and mental overload whether or not you realize it. Your ambition isn't focused, it's spread everywhere. And because you're young, you're thinking, oh, I gotta max out this opportunity, an opportunity like this isn't gonna come again. If I get this opportunity, it's gonna lead to this opportunity. What are you doing? I should see how much I could accomplish, I should see how much I'm capable of, and then you stack and 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 stack until you just can completely not handle it anymore. And let me tell you, your nervous system does not care about your potential. It cares about your sustainability. How long can you keep operating like this? If you're not sustainable, how are you, please explain to me, what sense does this make if you're not able to carry it in the long term? How long do you want to play the game for? You're burning out because you don't know how to regulate yourself, and you don't know how to say no to things. So please understand that. And hand with saying yes all the time. You've been performing nonstop. So if you say yes to all these things and you're very capable of living up to your potential and doing all these things, all that energy is expending to a whole vast array of things that may or may not even make logical sense. You have all of these different plates that need your attention, but how are you balancing all of these plates? You need to build in a psychological off switch for yourself, because burnout isn't always about working too hard. In fact, it's probably almost never about that per se. It's about never feeling safe enough to stop. So you need to have dedicated time where it is safe enough to stop. 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours of sleep, that's a non-negotiable. So start there. I really wish people talked about this more, because I just have not seen this talked about at all for some reason. You need to realize that your brain is still forming. Like, physiologically, your brain is still formalizing its frontal lobe. That part of your brain, and I have to pull up my little notes here, that part of your brain, your frontal lobe, is responsible for long-term planning, impulse control, risk assessment, emotional regulation, strategic thinking, and it's still forming itself. In your early 20s, your brain ran on adrenaline and novelty, so you're always seeking out all these new experiences to learn, which is great and amazing. Like, that's just a part of the stage of life that you need to be in. But as you grow up, your brain orients itself more towards long-term thinking, and again, sustainability. Another reason why you're burnt out is because you have financial pressures. You might have school debt, you might need to reach certain targets because you've raised some level of funding, you have to keep your lights on, you have to pay rent, you have to pay your roommates, you have to pay your parents, whatever it is. There's that financial pressure, which is enough of pressure in and of itself. Even if you're fine and the business is good, there is still financial pressure. And if you're dealing with that pressure without any sort of roadmap for clarity, that becomes an outrageous level of stress. So what you need to do, understand your numbers, know what's going in, what's going out, keep your lifestyle under wraps, don't be unnecessarily spending within the business, your personal life. Just have a good understanding of numbers and have a good understanding of safe numbers. Like, what is the number that you need to hit at the end of the day? Like, I'm not saying, oh, like, I gotta be a multimillionaire. Like, wrap this up. Be really realistic. $1,200 a month for rent. Put that on paper. Like, just start getting all the stuff out of your head and onto paper so you can physically see the numbers and have some level of understanding of how you need to orient your budget, your business goals to legitimate numbers that are impacting your life. Not somebody else's numbers, but your numbers. And I want to close with this. So burnout is not a flaw, it's data, and it's your system saying this pace is not sustainable. This structure isn't clean. That person is not working out for us. We need more rest. The question is, what needs to change? Less input, less comparison, less time online, more rest, better boundaries, smaller changes. Burnout is information. It is not defeat. So please do not look at it as defeat or something that you need to overcome, because yes, it's something that you need to overcome, but it's good learnings. You got to this point because of everything that you put in place thus far, so don't beat yourself up. And I know no one wants to admit that they're burnt out, because that means that you're admitting defeat, and if you're ambitious, this feels like the ultimate red flag of weakness. But burnout is not a sign that you reach your limit at all. It's a sign that your systems did not meet your ambitions.
Oh, what you said? Queen.
At 25, you're not supposed to be maxing out. You're supposed to be understanding what systems you actually need to be put in place so you own your business and your business does not own you. Burnout does not mean you failed early. It means you sprinted early. Now you need to learn how to run long distance, and that's the skill that actually carries you. So I hope this was helpful. If there's any way that I can help support you in your journey, leave a comment below, and I will hit you up. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more. This video burning me out.